Finally tonight, so many things in life, from stock markets to oil prices, are beyond our control, which might explain the appeal of The Sims. Last year's best-selling computer game sold over 3 million copies at $40 a pop. It features no explosions, there is little gore, but it does give players one little corner of the world they can control. Here's ABC's Brian Rooney.
It's a game about people, not real people, but simulated people. The Sims.
When you turn it on, you never know what's going to happen. Every time you play it, it's kind of a surprise.
The game itself has been a surprise, with sales over $100 million, as much as a hit movie. But with The Sims, you create the plot and characters, give them jobs, families, problems, and let them live.
Mortimer's having a very relaxing day, playing chess by himself. And let's have our daughter, Cassandra, come feed the fish before we forget. Bella is just like a wreck. She needs to take a bath. Oops. Oh, in the meantime, nobody's taking care of the baby.
This all started when Will Wright, the designer of The Sims, thought it might be fun to build a city. Start with an empty grid, create a landscape, then put in things like utilities and schools.
And so pretty soon you find that you have this little group of people living on this landscape that you've built, demanding this, that, and the other. You know, we want more roads, we want less taxes.
SimCity's success paved the way for Sim Earth, the global ecosystem, and Sim Farm. What do you do when your crops fail?
There are things you can do on the computer that kind of expand your perceptions outside of reality, and that you can go back and apply to reality.
Will Wright is fascinated by giving intelligence to mechanical things.
When I was a teenager, I used to build all these strange mechanical contraptions, and they got more and more elaborate.
But his most elaborate creation is The Sims, life in a box, the computer box.
There's always going to be some box, some creative box around us, and people are going to be afraid to leave the box because, you know, they're going to go broke or their game's not going to sell well. But if occasionally somebody can jump outside the box and be successful, then that expands the box.
Will Wright has sold 15 million games that have no monsters, no shootouts, not even winners and losers. He's made games out of making life work. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Is the creator of Spore, along with The Sims, SimCity, and every other sim in between. It's Will Wright. Welcome to Click, Will.
Thank you very much.
Why do you think The Sims did so well?
Well, I think a few reasons, really. I think, first of all, The Sims was accessible. It wasn't about fantasy, it wasn't about sports or military history, it was about everyday life, something that everybody could relate to and can understand the basic rules. And the second one is that Sims kind of allowed people to be very expressive and creative. They could tell their own stories, create their own characters, replay their own life in the game. They could tell their own stories, create their own characters, replay their own life in the game.
They could tell their own stories, create their own characters, replay their own life in the game.
Oh my god, it's the mothership! This must be the level boss for this part of the game.
The boss! Quick, everyone look busy!
This could be something. These space octopuses are gonna get jiggy all over Springfield. Did I use jiggy right? Sorry.
The cheat guide doesn't have any more upgrades. Wait, I know another way we can cheat. The internet.
Of course, the internet. That's where I cheat for school. Check it out. They have a walkthrough for a game called The Simpsons Game. Bartman, eating contest, alien invasion, slaughtering dolphins. It's describing everything we've done all day.
Where are we?
We're in the game engine. If our life is a video game, this is the factory where it was made.
That's ridiculous. I'm not a video game character. I'm a real-life person with dreams and feelings. Ah! All right, fine. I'm a video game guy.
Now, can I ask a question? If this is a video game, where do we put the quarters?
Oh my god! It's a nerd!
That's right. The nerdiest nerd in the computerverse.
Dad, that's Will Wright, designer of SimCity and The Sims.
That's why I live here now, finding a home for old games nobody plays anymore. Video games are about what's new, and the old is better off forgotten. Any of these fellows look familiar?
Wow, we look so pixely!
And poorly rendered.
Which one is supposed to be me?
Don't destroy them. They may be obsolete, but they're still alive.
Help! It's crazy!
If he destroys us, we'll never escape from Krusty Island.
I'm Marge.
You can't do this!
Of course I can. I'm Will Wright, bitch. And pretty soon, when there's a new, better Simpsons video game than the one you're from, I'll destroy you too.
game Sims, which is short for the word simulation, is a video game designed that allows the player to create virtual people called Sims. It places them in houses and helps direct their moods and satisfy their desires. Players can either place their Sims in pre-constructed homes or build them themselves. They can start families, become celebrities, the whole nine, while playing this game. With full analyzation, one can see the parallels within the Sims video game that mirror our so-called reality. All of the games that we enjoyed since our childhood were 1. Designed to be for entertainment. 2. Board games, video games, and card games were also designed to further the programming and indoctrinate into the masses' minds the system of order the way that the masses are told to think. For example, words, languages, numbers, colors, etc. Think about Uno cards. Uno cards have numbers and colors. At an early age we were taught numbers and colors. Back in preschool we were introduced to crayons. Why is it that the color red is red and not blue and vice versa? We identify these colors and numbers how the elites have told us to since birth. These games are used for entertainment purposes as a distraction, and they are also utilized to prep us for what's to come in the future. In this created game of life, there are different levels designed for each player to reach, just like video games have levels. Each character is validated or judged in a negative or positive way based on which level he or she reaches in life. Often classified as the bottom or the top. The bottom is often depicted as being broke. The top is shown as being rich or very successful. However, all of these levels are an illusion and were manufactured by the elites. Level number 1. School. School was ultimately designed to set the foundation of manufactured information, to program the masses to think within the lines of the system, which also falls into the category of indirect control. subconsciously instilling order into each character's mind on what's the right or wrong way to do things, such as spelling, how to write a correct sentence, punctuations, reading, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, etc. One should question, where did these alphabets, numbers, subjects in school originate from? Why does the elite's education determine whether a person is smart or not? School also preps each character to someday join the workforce or to go to college and pursue a career in a field that was established by the higher-ups. Ultimately, this leads to generating income, but result in the person paying taxes. Majority of characters are told by their peers that they only have 2 options. You either go to school or get a job. This was purposely done to make each person feel guilt as if they would not be socially accepted by others. Just like video games, school also has levels, from pre-K all the way up to the 12th grade, then college or trade school. Level 2, Homelessness. The creators in the game of life design the system to be driven by money. If a person does not have the proper finances, he is taken as a joke, looked at in disgust, and is ultimately frowned upon by society. The masses have been wired to view these people as scums of the earth. This is considered as being at the bottom, and if you are a level or levels above this person who is considered broke, people are conditioned to feel as if they are better than them. Being homeless or living at home with your parents is often associated with a negative stigma. The world's population is at an estimate of about 7.9 billion people globally. There has to be poor people and poor countries to maintain balance in society, or else everyone would have money and just be bunched up living on top of each other. You need order and separatism. This is very much needed in the game of life, but the flip side to this game is that these people don't have to pay taxes and don't have people leeching off of them pretending to love them. It's survival, which is somewhat close to the hunters back in the day. They're seen as the losers, but they are winners. Level 3, Jobs and Careers. The blue-collar workers are considered as a step above the homeless or those who are seen as broke. Jobs provide a sense of security, being as though money is needed in order to survive in the system in the game of life. Some people work 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. There are also levels in the workforce such as staff, assistant manager, etc., etc. Same goes for careers as well. All of these titles are truly meaningless. They were designed to make people feel important and give people a sense of power and control, but really it's someone else's company. Most people that work jobs tend to become vain and big-headed because they start to have a chip on their shoulder. They develop a level of independence but are dependent on a job. Psychologically, they want to prove that they don't need anyone's help to succeed. Meanwhile, most people who are considered successful at this so-called place at the top had help making millions. 9-to-5ers attitudes start to become even more obnoxious the higher up they go. Ultimately, these are people that seek validation. They have a herd mentality. The job provides money to fund the materialistic lifestyle. Level 4. Rich and successful. Success is commonly viewed amongst the masses as being what has been programmed to us as the top. Majority of the 1% who are at the top are the athletes, entertainers, and business moguls. Typically, most of these characters sell a rags to riches story, but most of them are hand-picked by the elites to further the programming. Being successful is all one big illusion. The money, cars, handbags, expensive clothes, high-end fashion, etc. is meaningless and has no value, especially in death. It was just made to be important by the higher-ups. This is why most people feel empty and alone the higher they go up on the ladder of success. If you notice, in recent years, more and more celebrities are coming out and revealing that they are broke. This is being strategically done by the elites to expose that they are nothing more than just puppets, promoting an image to the masses to keep them playing the debt game, spend money to feel good. But if the elites were to flip the script and made it where rich people were demonized like broke people, and made homeless fashion popular, like Kanye West and J. Cole clothes, the sheep would follow. Level 5. The God level. The God level is the highest level of them all. Not one single soul can ever reach this level, not the billionaires or the trillionaires, etc. like you have been led to believe. There is no amount of money that anyone can pay to reach this level. This is where the simulation and the game system was created. This scripted reality, which is merely just a game. The game is not controlled with some joystick or remote controller like the players that play video games. The simulation is operated and controlled by creating characters. And by creating their own characters, it creates a domino effect which creates an entire world full of more characters, and the cycle continues. For example, when a video game player plays NBA 2K, when creating his player, he creates the character to mirror the superstar athlete that he once idolized, copying his moves and accessories. Just like in basketball, Allen Iverson popularized tattoos and the sleeve. People wanted to be like him. In hip-hop culture, characters like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion pushed thought culture and Fashion Nova. Young girls emulated that as well. Superstar characters, in addition to mainstream media news, are used to push agendas, trends, advertise food, brands and products. They also promote death, violence and Satanism because cemeteries and mortuaries have to make money. Without drugs, violence or breaking rules, cops, detectives, etc. would not make money because there wouldn't be anyone to arrest. This is why you need guns, cash, and drugs. It furthers the simulation, and no one can be a hero to defeat the game because the elites will forever control the system. through platforms like social media and through celebrity gods. Game players create their Sims characters in the same manner as someone who is creating a player in 2K. They intend to mirror the character to resemble the A through D list celebrities, exactly how they see them in pop culture with fashion, hairstyles, etc., from the television screen back in the day to nowadays with social media, and the same goes for real life. The celebrity gods are used as couple goals so that humans follow them and want to get married, start their own family, and have this big house like the fairy tale that they have been sold for eternity, and then the cycle continues. The top level is also where our weather is generated and controlled, such as rain, snow, sleet, sunny, cloudy, hail, hurricanes, tornadoes, you name it. The human brain has been trained to believe that God is the creator of this so-called world that we live in, so it is He who controls the weather. But ask yourself, if God is a man, then who the hell is Mother Nature? This is how the weather forecast is so accurately reported. Grocery stores profit big off of winter storms. Companies get paid from your panic as they can pay their staff less. Tornadoes and hurricanes is population control. The virtual world is just another step into prepping the mind for the microchip and other advanced AI technology. Being desensitized from watching cartoons and playing video games since we were kids gradually makes it easier for people to be willing to step into the so-called worlds like the meta universe, because people can be whoever they want to be. Just like social media now allows you to be any character that you want to be, we are now heading into the next phase. The new Matrix Resurrections movie did a phenomenal job at explaining and breaking down this new reality. The new Matrix movie goes into full detail about how we live in a simulated reality as well, and we see the parallels between the game Sims and our so-called everyday reality. In the plot of the fourth Matrix installment, Thomas Anderson, better known as Neo, is a successful video game developer, creator of the game The Matrix, which is basically his own world. This is just like what you can do in the game Sims. The player is allowed to design their own characters, their own city, have people judge you the way you want to be judged, and be a perfect character, etc. A character in his game struggles at times separating perceived reality from dreams, similar to how in today's time a female gets likes on social media and get a boatload of DMs of guys trying to date her. But when she steps outside into the real world to make a store run or go to the club, not as many men approach her like they did in the past. And the same goes for men sending women DMs opposed to approaching them in person, which leads to deep depression. In the film, Anderson operates a simulation called a modal, a programming sandbox created to develop game characters, similar to how I explained earlier, how the leaders of this Earth control society by using its own created characters to lead the masses astray, and to convince the sheep to conform to all of the elite's ideologies. Another layer to the Matrix Resurrections that was revealed and had critics upset was the creators choosing not to go with the original cast of the previous Matrix films. I do believe that this was all done intentionally to continue prepping us to cloning.
Alright, first let's look into the comparison. I'm pretty sure y'all seen this before. People saying Post Malone is just Shia LaBeouf, just playing a new character and shit like that. Same bullshit that Cam B them be trying to do. Trying to act like everybody who looks alike is the same person and pretending they solve some type of mystery. All kind of shit on Twitter about Post Malone being Shia LaBeouf. That same bullshit Cam B them try to do, acting like they the same person, so you don't realize that they're clones. Now let's do it. Tell me what y'all think. I mean, that mustache is a dead giveaway, and especially the eyebrows. There's some things that change, but it's still pretty obvious. And like I said, they do use prosthetics to make these clones look like they have subtle differences.
Thousands of fans of Grammy-nominated rapper and community activist Nipsey Hussle are in a state of shock today. They are mourning the hip-hop star's ultimately and violent death. Nipsey Hussle was murdered in broad daylight outside a clothing store that he owned in South Los Angeles.
Yeah, Nipsey was laid to rest on Thursday in LA after being fatally shot outside his Marathon clothing store in South.
In this society, ask yourself, what is real and what is fake? I believe that the elites popularize famous sayings and phrases to 1. Mock the masses because they are unable to see that we are living in a scripted reality. Sayings like, I'm a real nigga, or you fake, or stop acting fake, fake ass nigga, etc. I think this was also done to subconsciously reaffirm and further the programming of humans buying into this character that was ultimately created by the elites, and they feel that they have to be so-called real in order to be respected and accepted by others and die by that code. famously known for mocking the masses, hiding the truth right in plain sight, exposing to them how the Matrix really works. It was later confirmed by Will Smith that he was supposed to star in the film The Matrix as the main character Neo.
Alright, this is one of them stories I'm not proud of, but it's the truth. I did turn down Neo in The Matrix.
But he allegedly turned down the role. My theory is that this was purposely revealed by Will Smith so that viewers are so intrigued on what it would be like if he had starred in the film that they didn't see the simple plot twist and riddle. Will Smith starred in the 1997 film titled Men in Black. Will Smith starred in the film as Agent J. But here's the twist. Ironically, there was a character who starred in The Matrix by the name Agent Smith. Do you get it? Agent Smith, as in Will Smith, hence the last name Smith. But the creators threw the viewers off by giving him a different skin color and by having the character be Caucasian instead of black. If you notice, Agent Smith actually resembles Tommy Lee Jones, who played an agent that starred alongside Will Smith. And remember, Neo's real name was Thomas in the film The Matrix. Also, another hint was Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, starring in the film as well. The movie Men in Black and the film The Matrix are practically the same movie, and the movie Space Jam as well, which to me reveals that it's simply the higher-ups, showing that art is imitating our scripted reality and vice versa. In the film Men in Black, Will Smith was chosen as the one who could see through the Matrix. His memory had to be erased so that he could not expose what was seen. And just like in the film The Matrix, Neo's mission was to save Zion. Agent J mission was to recover the galaxy to save Earth, exactly how Jordan was chosen, to save the people from alien invasion.
We are taking you to our theme park in outer space.
No fooling.
Where you would be our slaves.
Crawl back into the set.
I want to stay.
Whoa, no, you can't do that. See, you're a cartoon.
I don't want to go back and do that.
What do you mean you don't want to?
No, I want to stay here in the real world.
You can't stay out here. You stay out here, you're gonna turn into celluloid dust.